just talk about Jaelin a little bit and what you've seen from him since he's gotten here and how he's kind of mixed in with the rest of the guys.
Well, Jalen's obviously a very smart kid, but he brings a certain skill set to our team with his ability to shoot the ball. Unfortunately, he's been sidelined a little bit recently because of an ankle injury, but not really worried about him. He's seen a lot. He's played ball at the collegiate level, so it's just a matter of making the transition. Coming in, playing completely different from the way they played at Princeton. So he'll have the ball in his hands a lot more and have to make more decisions out of pick and rolls than obviously out of running the pick and roll. Playing out of Princeton offense.
Right. How, for a guy who hasn't done as much pick and roll stuff, to have Hunter Dickinson there, I mean, how much does that help him, do you think?
We all love that Hunter is still here. He's such a willing passer, and obviously he's going to have a lot of attention with people trying to stop him, so he's going to make the game that much easier for everybody else that's on the floor with him.
Juwan mentioned that with the new point guard, a lot of the onus is on the coaching staff to help with the learning curve. I guess, what have you worked with Jaelin on and the staff in general? How have you been helping him out there?
Well, making assessments on different reads out of pick and roll. That goes for him and Doug, and let them know what's the checklist for playing out of those, what we're looking for and why, what we're running, and tell them why we're doing it. Be based on defensive coverages. So he's going to be fine. He's a very bright kid. He already have a very good understanding. So it's just a matter of actually getting on the floor and doing it and making the reads.
And have you seen his comfort level increase since you first got here? And I guess, what does that look like?
I think he's getting more comfortable. He's a reserve kid, so we're going to need him to be more vocal as well as the time goes on, and he will be as he's more comfortable here and what we're doing. He's coming to a group that's a bunch of younger players, so we're going to need his leadership on the floor. So we're really looking forward to getting him back on the floor soon.
How much can we expect to see maybe both point guards on the floor at the same time? Juwan's been talking so much about Doug and what he brings. I guess, do you foresee that being a possibility for quite a few minutes? Or?
I think so, yes. Everything is going to be on the table, and I think that's the beauty of our team. We have a lot of guys that have different skill sets, but their versatility and the fact that Jalen can really shoot the ball from the perimeter. You can never have enough shooting on the floor, right? So that's the thing that we're going to concentrate on. And, he'll be a very big piece to what we're doing, especially if teams are going to be double teaming Hunter a lot.
Mm-hmm. Pretty natural for Jaelin to move to the 2 when he needs to.
I think so. I feel he'd be comfortable over there.
Is it possible for Yo-Yo to play the 2, or is that too big of an ask defensively?
No, I don't think so. I think with our versatility and the way we play, our 2s and 3s have very similar roles, so that will be a possibility as well. We feel good and confident with the depth on our team, so you can expect to see a lot of different lineups, and I think we'll look to do that to make other teams uncomfortable.
Can you describe a little bit how you guys first discovered Yusuf, how he came on your radar?
We was surfing the net, I guess. There are good players out there. That's our job. Jay Smith helped a lot in that area, and locating guys, and he was on the ground running with that.
What stood out about his game the first time you saw him play?
His ability to shoot the ball, his athletic ability. The fact that he's played at a high level over there is something that we was, really attracted to, especially after some of the guys that we were involved, we didn't get in. So we're very, very happy that y'all was here, and we look forward to putting him on the floor this year.
Did you mean that literally? Like it starts with an internet search? Yeah, good. Really good.
Good players.
Surfing the web. Yeah.
And then Doug, Juwan told us the other day that strap your seatbelt on, and he implied he was a very exciting player, but might make some freshman mistakes. I guess, what does that mean to you, a player that you have to strap on your seatbelt for?
When you will know he's on the floor. We'll say that his ability to push the ball and cause havoc on the defensive end. Expect to play at a much faster rate, higher tempo, faster tempo with them. Very competitive. We're very excited that he's here. Looking forward for him to do a lot of great things this year.
Are you, I guess, harnessing that ability, or kind of is the challenge to slow him down?
A little of both. Trying to find a good mixture. As a freshman, we know he's going to make some freshman mistakes, but hopefully we can get him to roll over the course of the year. By the time we get to Big Ten and further, we have a pretty good feel of the position and what we're asking.
Thanks.
You guys lost your best defensive player in Eli, but do you feel like there's a chance this team can be better on that end of the floor? And if so, I guess why?
No, that's a tough question. Eli was so good defensively. It almost was like a coach out on the floor. And
Right.
having spent here and really know the terminology of what we're looking for. With the young group, you have to basically go back to the fundamentals and the foundation and start over.
Right.
I think because of our athletic ability and length, we will have the potential to be about, just say right off the bat, I don't know, I think there will be a learning curve defensively.
And what about Jet? How have you seen him kind of fit in, and how are his backcourt skills? I know he talks about how he kind of wants to handle the ball as well, too.
Well, I've seen a lot of growth in Jet in the past month. He's starting to slow down a little bit on the offensive end, and he's starting to pick things up as far as scheme-wise defensively. So I think he's going to continue to get better throughout the year. Don't really worry about him offensively. I think he'll be fine. But picking up what we're doing defensively, I think will be a very big key for him.
Thanks.
When you say you think Chet will be fine offensively, I guess what is it about him and his skill set that gives you that confidence?
He has a very good skill set with the ball in his hand and the ability to shoot the ball and make shots. He should do well here. I think we've had a pretty good track record with guys that can shoot and put the ball on the floor.
Speaking of shooting, I guess where are you guys at there? I mean, I think Hunter's the leading returning three-point shot maker. I know you brought in a couple transfers that have hit plenty, but where do you see that? Have you seen guys make strides in that area as well?
I think we have the opportunity to be a better shooting team than we were last year. I say that hesitant, but you have to do it in games. So we haven't played any games yet, but
Right.
potentially we have a very good team as far as shooting the ball.
Thanks, Eric.
Yep.
Well, Howard, I'm curious, man. You guys have added, guys, transfer point guards in the last couple of years, and I'm curious, going through that experience, are there things that you picked up on that maybe made the transition for Jalen, or how coaching him through that transition, sort of takeaways from those other experiences that you're applying now?
I think each case is different. We try to bring them in and predict and try to decide where they at when they come in, as far as their level of confidence, and what they can do. The funny thing about all these different guys we've had is they all had different skill sets. So, DJ last year was, probably a little bit better in my opinion in getting into the lane than what Jalen will be, but I think Jalen's maybe a better shooter. So trying to figure out what's going to be best and have them be comfortable within our offense and put them in the best position to succeed would be very important for us.
As far as your system, your scheme, I mean, there's some that are more difficult for a guy to hit the ground running in. You've coached a lot of offense, you've played in a lot of offense. Where would you sort of kind of put this, for instance, John Beeline, it was tough for new point guards to come in and really hit the ground running. Is it less difficult, would you say, for you guys? How would you sort of quantify it?
I mean, it's different. We have to go on case-by-case situation. We have a huge playbook, but if guys aren't able to, say, hypothetically, if they can't pick it up or we can't use it, we want to put guys in the best position to help them succeed and see what's best for our team as well. So it's really hard to answer that question, but as we get going and with practice and as we start games, we'll have an understanding of what guys can do and plays they can make on the floor.
So Juwan, he talked about how Kobe has really progressed. He said, you know, he can score. He can do a lot of things on the floor. The question that I have most about him now is, how vocal is he? How much has that grown from one year to the next? Is like I asked him, he's not a very vocal guy naturally. So has that been something that has come along from one year to the next?
Kobe's playing with a lot of confidence right now, and he has been more vocal. I think he's trying to step into that role. He's going to be a guy that's going to play a huge part on our team. He's been great. I mean, he was great last year. You know, as far as supporting his teammates. So we expect a lot of big things out of Kobe this year.
What about Jalen? You talked about his shooting, but the way he can get, you know, shots maybe differently than Devontae off the dribble, things like that. How important is that for you guys out of a point guard? Because I guess really under you guys haven't had a point guard that's been able to do that as much.
It helps us, you know, when you can shoot the ball from every position, but especially from the point guard position, because now they have to guard it differently.
Right.
We do our job in setting screens. That means we allow guys to be able to get downhill. With our shooting on the floor, that means the floor should be more open, so it will give teams a hard decision on what to do in those situations.
Sorry if I've been asked this already, but Doug and Jaelin, I guess, what do each of those guys kind of bring to the point guard spot?
Different players. Doug is more of an energy player. Put him on, he's going to cause havoc on the floor. It's probably different than what Jaelin is. Doug is very good at getting into the paint and really does a good job of finding people and able to shoot the ball from the perimeter. So, and Jalen's more methodical, sneaky athletic, really shoots the ball. So you're looking at two different players at the position, which I think you both have the scheme for from an opponent standpoint.
And then I guess year 2 Kobe compared to year 1, I guess how much of a different player is he now this year?
It's night and day. He's playing with a lot more confidence. He's being more vocal, and the thing with Kobe that's so impressive is he has good self-awareness, so he knows the things he needed to work on from last year, and he's really applied them to this summer and really put a lot of time in the gym and in the film room trying to improve, and I think he has. He's definitely made a jump.
Can you share some of those things that he's been working on? Focused on?
His body, when you see him, he physically looks different. He's playing again with a lot more confidence. He's able to get in the lane, finish plays, and really he's been doing a great job of creating for others. And he's been really working his tail off on the defensive end. So he's been moving quicker, better laterally. And I'm really happy for him and proud of the jump he's made. We just need him to continue to grow and show what he's been doing in practice and the things that he's been working on when it comes to the game.
And I know this is third career transfer point guard with Jaelin. I guess from the experience you guys had with Mike and Devontae, is there anything you guys learned from those that maybe can help you guys lessen the learning curve for Jaelin this time around?
I think each case is different. Obviously, it's going to be a learning curve anytime you put a different guy in a different system, and these are two completely different systems. So, helping him, guide him with our reads and how to pick and roll. He didn't do a lot of that at Princeton. It's a completely different offense. So, trying to point out, what we're looking for in our sets and helping him do that. But Jalen's a very bright kid. He'll pick him up and he'll be just fine.
Do you envision how much do you envision Doug and Jaelin together?
It's definitely a possibility. In a lot of ways, I think they complement one another very well. Doug is a guy that really pushes the ball, and able to get in the lane and draw a lot of attention. And with Jalen's ability to shoot the ball, I definitely see that as being an option for Coach Howard. And I think that's probably one of the strengths of our team is our versatility, being able to play guys in different positions. I think will help us in the long run.
You guys knew what you were getting in Doug. Did his new teammates kind of just take them back a little bit once you get on the floor together?
You know what? This basketball world community is so small now, so they've watched. It's so funny because Hunter and Terrence played with him, so they've known him for a long time. So I think our guys had a pretty good feel for who he is, and the thing that he really is a great competitor, and he puts a lot of pressure on teams on both ends of the floor.
How is Doug defensively in his screening roles? Because I'm guessing maybe teams will try and beat him up a little just because he is a smaller guy.
That's going to fall on us. We got to get creative in some situation depending on who we playing. But he's such a competitor that he's going to compete, and he really does a great job of getting to the ball and putting a lot of pressure on the ball handler. So you'll be seeing Doug pick up 94 feet and really taking advantage of his strengths before teams will try to do anything on the other end of the floor.
How much can that change to make it easier for you guys on defense if a team doesn't get over half court until there's 7 to 8 seconds milked off the shot clock?
Well, it's always in our benefit. You got to guard less of the clock, and we feel good about it. Teams when we try to score late shot clock, obviously the percentages go way down when we put teams in situations like that. So we can pick up and apply pressure, and I think that's one of the things we're really going to concentrate on trying to do this year.
You mentioned that Jalen probably didn't run a whole lot of balls. What has that transition been like for him? How comfortable has he gotten?
He's getting more comfortable with it. It's going to be a transition. We got to continue to work at it, and then we look at it, it's going to be a growing process. So it's not today, it's where we are in February, March, April, So, that's our goal. So he's going to continue to grow. He's a smart kid. It's just a matter of his comfort level. And I have a lot of confidence in him. He'll be fine.
How much does that help? His ability to shoot off the dribble, those kind of things. How much, and that's probably a little difficult when you have last year at that spot. How much does that help against the offense?
Well, it's going to help because you have to guard pick and rolls differently now. In some cases, maybe you have to put 2 on the ball in this case because he's such a threat shooting behind screens if you decide you want to go under. So with the way we're going to try to space the floor, it really opens up the paint, which allows us to play downhill. And if you do help, we have shooters on the perimeter. So we like those chances. We like what he brings to our team.